All right, good morning, people. How are we doing on a fine Wednesday morning? Sun's outside, people. What a beautiful day. What a beautiful day we have. Very important day, as always, in this class is today we're going to start actually moving the ADS model around and start beginning to look at the macro measures within the ADS model. And all it is relationships, right? Because we know that the ADS model just has price level on the vertical and output on the horizontal, but you're still required to know all these other macro measures. So it's all going to come from the relationships, right? So that's what we're going to do today. But before we do that, got some announcements as always. And people, I got big news for you guys. The GeoGuessr game yesterday, you guys actually won that. You guys won it. Micro messed up. Micro, we found a little sign. And it was one of those letters that has like the A and the circle above the A. So I was like, oh, it must be Norway, right? And it turned out it was Norway, but someone Googled that street sign, put us way north in Norway, and it was way south in Norway. Kind of like you guys were Chile, right? You guys were like in the middle of Chile, and like it ended up being, super south. You guys actually won though. They were like 1,000 kilometers away, and you guys were like 850 kilometers away. So you guys are up 1-0 in the game. So if you guys win today, you guys get that one summative extra credit point, which might be pretty big. If the seniors win today, if Micro wins today, then it's going to be, we're going to have to settle it tomorrow. We'll see, all right? So that's that. Some of you guys were probably wondering. We'll play that here in a second. I have a lot of other announcements, though. The first announcement is Unit 2 tests will be posted today, probably around 3 p.m. All right? So same thing as always, right? Same thing as the Unit 1 test and the Unit 1 retake if you chose to do that. You guys will just, go on and like it's going to be from Wednesday to Sunday. I'll close it probably Sunday night. And then, there'll probably be retakes again. Unless everyone does really well, then we'll probably just want to do retakes, but we'll see. Generally, the Unit 2 test is the easiest test. I will say that right now. The Unit 2 test is the easiest test. It has the highest averages on it, typically. So I forecast you guys will do really well on that test. I would be very surprised if you guys didn't. And also looking at how you guys have done on the AP Classroom MCs, you guys should do really well on the Unit 2 test. It should inflate your grade maybe a little bit. We'll see. Also make sure you check 3.1. I just posted that problem set answer key about 10 minutes ago. Aggregate demand and aggregate supply is also important, but aggregate demand is the most important. Right? If you shift aggregate demand in the wrong direction, you're gonna have a lot of problems later on. Right? So make sure you check problem set 3.1, and if you get any of those wrong and you don't understand why you got those wrong, make sure you get clarification in Google Meet. Right? Make sure you be like, Mr. Moore, how did you get that answer? Right? And I'll help square you away because it is so important. Again, we're learning about the graph that we're gonna use for the rest of the course. All right, so. How's everyone doing out there? Are you guys all here? Man, you guys doing that again? Where are you guys? Where are you? Where are you? Ah. People, we're going to the haunted house soon. You guys better be ready. It's going to happen soon. It's going to probably happen on Friday. The production crew is almost done with it. All right? I'm getting pretty excited. I'll try to make Friday pretty light too, right? We're not going to learn too much crazy stuff on Friday. I think we have penciled in economic growth on Friday, which won't be insane, right? Just a few slides and just one concept. Tomorrow's gonna be a big day. Tomorrow's also gonna be a really big day, so don't be absent tomorrow. But we're going in on Friday, people. That's right. Better believe. You better believe. Any other announcements that I have? I don't think so. Yeah, there's like 2 or 3 of you guys that never did your Unit 1 AP Classroom MCs. I didn't realize that it was closed. I opened it back up. All right, so those that have never done their Unit 1 AP Classroom MCs, good review, I guess now. Make sure you go back and do it. The PSAT is tomorrow. One in the chat if you're going to be missing class tomorrow due to the PSAT. Good shot, Luke. Put a 1 in the chat if you're taking the PSAT tomorrow. Don't lie to me. Don't be like, well, everyone put a 1, so like Mr. Moore, he's not going to teach. SAT scores come out next week, the day after Election Day. Oh boy. Well, what's nice is like if we do go pretty hard tomorrow, it kind of sucks, like, if you miss class, because, like, then you gotta, like, you know, do extra, right, on your own personal time, but the lecture will be recorded. But we'll see. I mean, if we have a lot of you guys, I'll still teach what I wanted to teach tomorrow, right, long run agri-supply, but, like, we'll just kind of revisit a little bit more on Friday as well, so only 7 of you guys. It's not crazy. It's not too insane, but all right, people. Gosh, I feel like I had one more thing to tell you guys. I don't know. I mean, another thing is promise that 3.2 is due tonight. Don't be late to that. But all right, let's get into it. Let's get into it, people. Get the creepy music again going. All right, so yeah, you're like oh, play again in just 1 minute. Man, they're gonna make us wait. GeoGuessr used to be so cool back in the day. It used to be free, and you could play it as many times as you want. Now you get to play one game for every 24 hours, right? Look, it's making us wait a whole extra minute here to get in. Come on. Get us in the world. I'm excited, people. 4 minutes again. I might increase it to 5 minutes. I'm not gonna lie, 4 minutes is pretty tight. Now the seniors didn't use all their time though. They're like minute 30, Mr. Moore, we are here, and I put the ping right where they said it, so that was on them. Play again in now. That means now. Play. Actually, we should keep it consistent. We'll keep it 4 minutes. How about 4 minutes and 30 seconds? There we go. All right, ready? All right, people. Remember, help me out. Give me the continent, then the country, then the city, right? Whoa, this is beautiful. Man, this is pretty. Look at that. Gosh, where should we go? Is that a sign? Okay, kilometers. So, like, you know, we're not in the U.S. That's pretty much it. We're not in the U.S. We're everywhere else in the world. Man, this is beautiful. Where are we? Where are we, people? I mean, where are you guys thinking just, like, right now? I'm thinking, like, South Africa, I'm not gonna lie. But, man, we could be anywhere, you know? We could be anywhere right now. Oh. Asia, right? Asia. Which, again, this could be, like, a lot of different places, but we are, like, here somewhere, right? Okay, we gotta keep going. Mr. Moore, gotta keep driving. You guys do the thinking, I'll do the driving, alright? Come on. Come on. Come on. Oh man, are they gonna let us go through the tunnel? You guys gonna let us in? No, they're not gonna let us in. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? People, this is not good. You guys might have gotten really bad luck. It'll make tomorrow interesting for sure. 3 minutes left on the clock. I gotta keep a good eye on that. We gotta go the other way now because they won't let us through the tunnel. Unbelievable. You know? I'm thinking kind of Thailand too. Does Thailand have like a lot of mountains though? I think they do. Oh, I see why you're saying Scotland or Wales, right? Like the mountains. I mean, those characters, like, can anybody identify those? People, you guys gotta get out of the way. Alright, we got 2 more minutes. I'm trying to help. You never know though, like, you know, the seniors might get like a desert, right? And I won't back them out. Like, they're gonna have to do that one, right? I won't let them cheat. We just gotta find like one big sign. What is all this? Probably construction signs. Yeah, it's not gonna help. That doesn't look like Thai language. Japan? Could be Japan. Japan's got a lot of mountains, right? Sherry's thinking Japan. I mean, is this Japanese or Chinese, right? Or Thai or whatever, right? I think Japan too. Japan's very, like, mountainous, for sure. Very, very mountainous. This is insane though. Like this road is like, we can't We can't go anywhere. We got a minute left. Right now, I think we're guessing Japan, right? I think it's like the consensus. So like we'll put a ping like middle Japan, maybe towards like the East Coast. Japan drives on the left. Are people driving on the left? I didn't even look at that. There's just nothing, people. I can't like find anything for us. All right, 40 seconds. I won't mess it up like yesterday. All right, I got you. Come on, can we get anything from these vehicles here? Come on, like a bumper sticker. 20 seconds. All right, people. Whereabouts in Japan? East or west? Near the north. I like it. Is that where it's mostly like mountainous? We get a topographical map here. I'm thinking like right here, right? We gotta do it. 3 seconds. Yo, people, that's really good. That's very good. Good job. Good call on the north, Luke. Good call on Japan too, Sherry. That was huge. All right, man. Hey, that's pretty good, people. 321 kilometers. Hey, dude, it was on this island. Holy smokes. That's so pretty. I want to go to Japan. Japan's probably so pretty. Oh, I should have went up here. I wasn't even paying attention. That would have been the same, I think. Very good. Very good. All right, people. I got to write that down. 321 kilometers. 321 kilometers. Actually, I'll put it in the chat because then I'll just be able to look at the chat log. 321 kilometers. All right. Cool. All right, people. Let's get into what we got to do today. That was very good. You guys definitely put the pressure on them. You did better than yesterday. You guys are crazy at that. We didn't have a lot of clues either. So that was pretty impressive. Not gonna lie. The character on one of the cars was north. Man, dang, you guys are good. All right, people. Short run relationships, right? So right now we're just going to analyze short run changes. Now, remember from yesterday, right? We said in the short run, it is this idea. It's not a set period of time. It's not like 3 years, 4 years, or anything like that. But it's a short run period of time where wages can adjust. Nominal wages can adjust. That's the idea. That's what short run means in macroeconomics, and it's so important that you guys understand that. It is a short period of time where there's an inability for wages to adjust. People can't renegotiate new wage contracts, right? They're locked in for a year, 2 years, right? So when inflation happens, they have to follow through on their contract, right? They can't renegotiate new wages. Minimum wage laws can't adapt, right? Because again, it's a very short period of time. That's what short run means. Short run in economics is all this idea that wages can't adjust. Wages are sticky, economists like to say, in the short run. Okay, so we're going to analyze short run changes of the day. So when we change the graph, and it's going to say what happens in the short run, we're going to assume that wages do not have the ability to adjust, right? Tomorrow we're going to begin looking at long run, and when there's a long run change, we're going to assume that there's going to be a change, and it's going to be a longer period of time where wages would have the ability to adjust. Wages are flexible in the long run, and they're sticky in the short run. We're just going to stick to the short run today. We're just going to stick to short run today, all right? All right, here we go. Oh my gosh, it's so scary. People, I'm not going to do a lot of scary things today. We are serious today. All right? All right, anyway. Macro short run relationships. It's all about relationships, okay? All right, so what we want to do is we want to manipulate the ADS model by either changing AD or AS, and hopefully you guys know how to do that by now, right? If I give you a scenario, you can realize that it's AD or AS, and does it increase or decrease? And then at the least, right, be able to figure out what happens to price level and output. So I call this tier 1, right? This isn't like an AP econ thing. It's just me, right? If you can tell me what happens to price level and output given a change, right? That's like the bare minimum. You have to be able to do that, right? Or else like we got some catching up to do. Hopefully by now today you guys will be masters at tier 2, and I would say almost tier 3, right? It's just kind of like the level of difficulty. Is kind of like these tiers that I made, right? But really, at the end of today, I want you to be able to do all of these. If I give you a change, I want you to be able to draw the graph on a separate sheet of paper, change AD or AS, figure out what happens to price level and output, and then whatever happens to price level and output, be able to identify these other macro measures. Now, I tried to color code it as well. So see how price level's in pink here, right? These ones that are in pink are related to price level. So what happens to price level is gonna change what happens to real wages, nominal interest rates, and net exports. What happens to output is these macro measures are related to output, just to kind of help you out for now. All right. So I'm gonna do four, for you guys. I want you guys to really follow along, and if you want to, right, draw a graph on the side and kind of follow with me, right? And then afterwards, we're gonna go to Google Meet, and you guys are gonna do four. I'm gonna do four, then you guys are gonna do four today. Okay. So this probably won't take too long, right? You guys will have a lot of time in Google Meet. All right, so here's what we're going to do, right? I'm going to give you a scenario, and this one says, what would happen to the following in the short run? And I underlined it because it's very, very important. If I put long run here, all of these are going to be different. Some might be the same, but most of them are going to be different, right? Long run and short run very, very, very much matters in this class, right? So we're just going to do short run today, all right? So we're assuming that wages are sticky, wages are fixed in the short run. What would happen in the following in the short run if there is a decrease in interest rates? All right. What would happen to the following in the short run if there's a decrease in interest? So the first step you do is obviously you draw your graph, right? You're going to draw the ADAS model. You're going to draw AS going upwards, AD going downwards. You're going to draw a price level, and you're going to draw your real GDP. And then it is very, very important that you label your equilibriums, just like you did with market demand and market supply, markets, right? So we usually label output Y, and we label price level just PL, right? And I'm going to put E, right, for equilibrium. That's where we're currently at. That's the easiest way to think about equilibrium. That's where we're currently at, assuming that we're operating in equilibrium. This is how much output is going to be produced, real GDP, in the given time, right? And this is going to be our current overall price level. Okay? Again, price level is like the aggregate, level of prices, right? So if there's three goods and each good is $2, they're three different goods, but each good is $2, the aggregate price level would be $6, right? So this is the sum total of all prices in the economy. So when price level goes up, that means inflation has occurred. And when price level goes down, that means deflation has occurred, obviously, right? So the whole point I'm trying to say is, people, you have to draw your ADS model today. When you guys do the problem set on in Google Meet, right, on the Google Doc, you need to really have a separate sheet of paper, and you need to be drawing the ADS model so you can see everything, right? It's really weird this year where I can't watch you guys do it. I have to assume you're gonna do it, because if you don't do it, it will show for sure, without a doubt. All right, anyway, let's get into it. So after you draw your graph, you draw all the equilibriums. Now you have to figure out, is this going to change aggregate demand or aggregate supply? People, what do you think? Is it going to change aggregate demand and or aggregate supply? Is interest rates an aggregate demand shifter or an aggregate supply shifter in the short run? Because it's actually technically both, but in the short run, it's only one. It's only one thing in the short run. Changes to interest rates, is that an AD shifter or an AS shifter, people? I'm not going to do all the work for you. Are you tracking? Hold on, I need to hit... People, did you guys know if you go to the bottom of the video and click live, make sure that's red. That way you're not on any sort of delay. I figured that out a couple days ago. It's demand, right? It's definitely aggregate demand. Why is that? This is the investment spending component, right? If interest rates go down, what's going to happen is businesses are going to be like, wow, it's cheaper to borrow now. The cost of borrowing, aka interest rates, are lower, right? So if I'm a business, I'm going to go take out more loans. I'm going to go take out more loans, and I'm going to go build more stores and warehouses and buy more capital goods and machines and tools and other things, right? To hopefully make more profit later. That's why it's called investment. You're taking out a loan, you're borrowing, right, to hopefully make more money in the future, right? Now, this also would change consumer spending, but I want you guys to just focus on investment, right? Yes, when interest rates go down, consumer spending would go up because people would take out more loans to buy more cars and things like that, right? And boats and anything else you would need a loan for in order to buy. But this is going to affect investment spending. So aggregate demand will have to increase because we're lowering interest rates. The cost of borrowing is going down. So if I'm a business, I'm going to be more likely to take out a loan and use that loan to go upgrade my production process, to expand my business. All right? So aggregate demand is going to change. In this case, aggregate demand is going to increase. So we have to shift it graphically to the right. all right? So when you do that, right, again, label AD1, right, because you have to know that this is your new aggregate demand curve and this is your old one. This one, in a sense, doesn't exist any longer, right? This is your new aggregate demand. And then lastly, make sure you label this Y1 and PL1, right? This is your new output and your new price level. Very, very important, right? I'm not just making this stuff up. When you guys take the AP test and you're given an FRQ, generally they ask you to label it like this. And if you don't have it Y1 and they said label it Y1, you're going to get points taken off, right? So just start doing it now. And then, again, when you graph it all on the side, it's going to be so much easier to identify all these different things because you can just look at your graph. So what's going to happen, right? Well, right now you guys should be able to do this, right? This is what you've done the last 2 days, is identify changes to price level and output. If aggregate demand increases, price level will increase, right? We're just reading our graph, right? Because we labeled it, so it's easy. And also output will increase. Okay, so we're going to have inflation, but we're also going to produce more stuff in terms of output adjusted for inflation. We're actually going to produce more things. Okay, so both price level and output will increase. Okay, now we're to this tier 2, right? And we haven't yet done this, but this requires relationships, right? The knowledge of how is unemployment related to output, how is incomes related to unemployment, and so forth, right? So think about this. Okay, if output increases, like we're making more things, right? What do you think happens to the level of unemployment in our country? If we're making more things, right, what has to happen to the amount of people looking for a job that can't find a job, right? If we're making more things, are we using more workers or less workers? We must be using more workers if we're making more things. That's the connection. If output goes up, we're using more workers, that's how we're making more output. So unemployment has to go down. Very good, Zaid. Unemployment has to go down. Right? If we're making more output, we are going to assume, it's an assumption, right? But we're going to assume safely that we must be using more workers in order to produce more output. So therefore, the unemployment rate will decrease. Okay? That's how unemployment's related to output. Unemployment is going to be inversely related to output, but you have to understand why. I firmly believe the students that struggle with this the most, they memorize the relationships. They go, I just got to remember unemployment's opposite of output, but they don't truly understand like why, right? If output goes up, we must be using more workers, so the amount of people looking for a job that can't find a job would have to go down. Employment would increase, unemployment would therefore decrease. Okay? Next up is nominal incomes and nominal wages, and a lot of students get these two confused because they sound very similar, right? Just the amount of money you're making, right? Okay. In this case, incomes are always inversely related to unemployment, and here's why. Nominal incomes is the sum total of everyone's paychecks, right? Wages, however, is the amount that people are currently getting paid. So let me show you an illustration here, and then we'll go back to this, right? Incomes versus wages. I made this morning, and hopefully it helps you out a lot, right? All right, so imagine we have 4 people living in our economy, right? We have 4 people, okay? And let's assume each of them have a wage of $5. However, this last gentleman over here is unemployed. All right, he's unemployed. He's currently not working. All right. So before we made the change, right? I'm talking like before we changed AD1, right? Let's assume we had 4 people in our economy and we had 1 person unemployed. The nominal wage would be $5, right? The amount that people are getting paid is $5, right? We're assuming everyone's getting paid the same. All right. Nominal incomes is the sum of everyone's wages, right? So the nominal incomes, sometimes it's written as national incomes, right? Which kind of makes a little bit more sense. Nominal national incomes would therefore be $15. The amount of total incomes in this country is $15. The amount people are receiving, though, is $5 each, right? It's the easiest kind of way to think about the difference between wages and incomes. And then what we did is we changed the graph, right? And we increased AD, so output increased, and we assume that the unemployment rate decreased. So let's assume that this guy is now working, all right? And that was a short-run change. If that's a short-run change, everyone's getting paid the same because in the short run, wages are sticky. We just talked about that, right? In the short run, people can't ask for wage increases. That's why aggregate supply is upward sloping, right? In the short run, if you get to pay your workers the same amount and prices increase, right, there's an incentive to hire more people. So maybe now this guy's going to get hired, right? But again, to be clear, nominal wages never change, right, in the short run. These guys are still going to get paid the same amount even after that change in AD. However, this guy found a job, we assumed, right? If we're producing more output, a firm hired this guy, right? And they probably hired him because like it's profitable, even though like they probably wouldn't have hired him in a normal economy, is the idea. So now we're going to give this guy a wage of $5, right? So our nominal wages are still the same. They're sticky, right? But what happens to our national nominal incomes, right? They're now going to be $20. That's the difference, all right? Nominal wages never change, and it's the amount that people are getting paid, all right? Incomes is the sum total of everyone's paychecks, all right? So if unemployment goes down, incomes go up. If unemployment goes up, incomes go down, right? Imagine if like we went from orange to purple here, right? And this guy became unemployed, wages would stay the same and incomes would go down because unemployment increased. All right? That's the difference between wages and incomes. Let's go back to it, right? So in this case, incomes will definitely go up, right? Because unemployment has gone down. If we add up everyone's paychecks added together, we have more people working, so therefore there's more paychecks being given, right? The nominal incomes would have to increase. And the nominal wages, I'm going to ask it every time. I'm going to ask it on your problem set, and you're just going to be like, no, they're not going to change, Mr. Moore. They're sticky, right? No one's going to get a wage increase from here to here because we're talking in the short run. No one has the ability to renegotiate higher wages or lower wages, which we'll talk about at another time. But, okay, we good on tier 1, tier 2? One in the chat if that makes sense, incomes versus wages. 2 if you're struggling on it. The difference, right? Like, do you understand that incomes would go up here because unemployment goes down, but yet people are still going to get paid the same amount? But everyone's going to get paid more money, right? In total, national incomes would have to increase, all right? It's just kind of like a weird thing. Incomes and wages, like how we use it every day, sounds the same, but in economics, we got to be precise about it. All right, the next one, very good. The next one is real wages, all right? Real wages. So you guys remember real? Same thing with nominal interest rates. It's real equals nominal minus inflation, all right? So if we take that, nominal wages stay the same. In other words, there was a 0% change, right? Minus the inflation rate, which we had inflation. Let's just say inflation was 2%, right? So no one got a wage increase. Nominal wages went up 0%, minus inflation, which was 2%. So real wages would have to fall. Real wages would decrease. The easiest way to think about real wages is the ability to buy things, right? The ability to buy things. If prices go up, which is what happened here, and you're still getting paid the same amount because we're talking short run, right? Your ability to buy things, your purchasing power would definitely go down. Your real wage would go down, is the idea, right? Inflation happened, you didn't get a wage increase, your ability to buy things would decrease. People, the College Board loves asking about real wages. You have to know that one. You have to. It's like the most common one they ask about, right? Because there's so much concepts within it, right? It's always going to be inversely related to price level in the short run. If price level goes up, we know that in the short run nominal wages are fixed. The ability to buy things must have to go down, right? Real wages will go down. Okay, next up is nominal interest rates, all right? Nominal interest rates. We've talked about this a little bit, right? When we talked about inflation, in order to identify who is hurt and who is helped by unanticipated inflation, we had to understand that equation, real equals nominal minus inflation. So we know this, right? If inflation happens, who is hurt, right? When inflation happens, who is hurt? The borrower or the lender? Who is hurt? When inflation happens, the lender is hurt. Because when the lender gets paid back, they're going to get paid back with less real dollars. They're going to get more nominal dollars if they charge some sort of interest rate, but the dollars they receive due to inflation will be worth less. The lender's hurt when inflation happens. So inflation happened here. The lender is hurt. So in order to offset that decrease in real interest rates, what is the lender going to do to nominal interest rates? They're going to increase them. Okay? They're going to increase them. Right? If the nominal interest rate was 3% and inflation was 4%, now the real interest rate is negative 1%. So to offset that, right, they're going to have to increase the nominal interest rate. So just always know that price level and interest rates, nominal interest rates, are directly related. If price level goes up, that's going to begin to pull up interest rates. Okay? Just naturally. Not talking about what the Federal Reserve would do. All right? That's later. Okay? If price level goes up, that's going to begin to push up nominal interest rates. All right? If price level goes down, that's going to decrease nominal interest rates. All right? Next up is net exports. Right? Now we know that changes in net exports does change AD. This is kind of like what happens first, the chicken or the egg, right? So we can change AD and that's going to change net exports, which would ultimately change AD again, right? Like the business cycle, right? It's going to constantly be moving parts here. So we're just going to say, based on this change, what would happen to net exports, right? Again, even though we know net exports would change AD as well. So this has everything to do with price level, right? For this one, just ask yourself, where's the best place to buy goods now, right? Due to this increase in prices in the U.S., right, where do I want to buy goods? Do I want to buy goods in the U.S. or do I want to buy goods elsewhere? All right? Well, if prices go up in the U.S. and I'm an American, right, I'm going to probably buy more foreign goods, right? If U.S. goods are higher in price and there's been no change to prices in foreign countries, right, I'm going to be incentivized just based on that one isolated change to buy more foreign goods because foreign goods are more cheaper relative to the U.S. goods. So I'm going to import more, right? Net exports is exports minus imports. So if I import more, then exports would go down. So you can view it from a lot of different perspectives, right? Most people view it from the American perspective, right? This is kind of just how Americans are, I guess, right? You could also view it as, what would foreigners do, right? So if we import more, net exports will go down. What are foreigners going to do? Are foreigners going to want to buy more or less of our of U.S. goods? They're going to want to buy less, right? They're going to want to buy their own goods. They're going to buy less American goods because American goods are more expensive. So we're going to have less exports combined with more imports. The net effect is net exports has to go down, all right? Annabeth, you're just pushing buttons over there. What's going on? I'm just kidding. All right, so that's net exports. It's going to be inversely related to price level. But again, make sure you understand why, right? Don't just be like, memorizing relationships because it's going to get out of hand. No one can memorize all those different things. All right, you got to know. You got to know it, right? The last one is nominal GDP. We know that nominal GDP is price times quantity. So sometimes this one's indeterminate. In this case, nominal GDP is going to increase. Why is that? Well, prices are going to go up and we're going to make more, right? So price times quantity, for sure, without a doubt, we know that nominal GDP is going to increase, right? The market value of what we produce currently, right? Current prices have now gone up and we're actually making more stuff too, right? So nominal GDP has to go up there, all right? Not too crazy, right? Not too crazy. We're going to do these other ones a lot quicker, all right? So let's do another one here, okay? What would happen to the following in the short run if there's an increase in the price of water, and we assume that water is a key resource used to produce most goods? Now, obviously, right, people are going to buy less water if water goes up in price, but you see the word resource, right? We're talking macroeconomics, not the market supply and demand for water. We're talking the demand for everything by everyone and the supply of everything by all producers, right? This is definitely an aggregate supply shifter, right? Businesses use water to produce things. It says resource used in the production of most goods. It's kind of a giveaway, right? This is definitely going to affect aggregate supply. So again, draw your graph, label PLE and YE, label everything, right? And then identify is the AD or AS. This one's clearly AS, but what happens, right? I think a lot of you guys would know this is aggregate supply, but would you guys move it in the right direction, right? There's an increase in the cost of production. There's an increase in the price of water, right? If you're a business and now you got to pay more for water to produce goods, right? You're going to have less money to buy more water and other resources. Less financial capital, less capital to buy resources, so therefore aggregate supply has to decrease. If the cost of production goes up, aggregate supply has to decrease. And people, this is called stagflation right here. And why is this called stagflation? You have to know that. It's a vocab word. You have to know what stagflation is. And you have to know how to show it graphically using the ADS model and later on the Phillips curve. This is how you would show it, right? This is the only way to show stagflation is a decrease in aggregate supply. The only thing that causes stagflation to occur. Stagflation is this: a stagnant economy, right, which means we have less output, stagnating economy, right, we're producing less, and a simultaneous increase in price level, aka inflation. Stagflation, stagnant economy, plus inflation, right? This is what happened in the 70s, right? So obviously this is pretty much the worst case scenario, right? It's very, very hard to get us out of this, right? Using fiscal and monetary policy. It's very, very hard, right? Because if we reduce one, we're going to cause more of the other. And this is a simultaneous increase in both inflation and unemployment, right? Because output goes down. Okay, so we're good on that, right? We know that this causes aggregate supply to decrease. We know that prices are going to go up and output's going to go down, right? Second time through. Let's see if we can do this a little quicker here. If output goes down, right, what happens to the unemployment rate? If we're making less things, right, are we using more or less workers? We must be using less workers, right? So therefore, the amount of people looking for a job that can't find a job would have to go up. If we're producing less stuff, we're not using as many workers. So the amount of people that aren't working would have to have risen. Unemployment rate will definitely go up. If unemployment goes up, what happens to nominal incomes? Right? They would have to decrease. Incomes are always related to unemployment. All right? If more people are not working, that means more people are not receiving a paycheck. If more people aren't receiving a paycheck and we add up everyone's paychecks added together in the entire nation, right, the number would be less than it was beforehand. Right? Nominal incomes would decrease. Nominal wages, they're sticky. They never change. Right? Don't try me, right? They never change, right? In the short run, no one is going to have an ability to renegotiate higher wages, right? Nominal wages stay the same because we're talking short run. Okay? Next up, what happens to real wages? Well, price level goes up in our country, right? Yet people are still getting paid the same amount, just like the last time, real wages would fall, right? Everything costs more to buy, the price of everything is now more expensive, and you're still getting that same $5 paycheck, right? You're not going to be able to buy as many goods. Your real wages, your purchasing power, just for inflation, has now declined, all right? What happens to nominal interest rates? Remember, it's directly related to price level. If price level increases, right, we have inflation, right? It's going to incentivize lenders to charge more, right? That to raise interest rates because lenders are hurt when inflation occurs, right? So they're gonna start pushing up nominal interest rates to offset that decrease in their real interest rates. What happens in net exports? Well, if prices go up in the U.S., right? Americans are going to buy more foreign goods, more imports, which would decrease net exports, and foreigners are going to buy less of our goods as well. We're going to have less exports, more imports, exports minus imports. That number would decrease. Net exports would fall. And then last one, nominal GDP. What would happen, right? Nominal GDP is price times quantity, right? In this case, we have inflation, so the price of what we're producing has now risen. However, we're producing less output. So in this case, we don't know. Like, we don't know. It's indeterminate. We don't know. All right? I'm giving you guys a similar question to this on the Unit 2 test, right? Because you should know, we learned all about GDP in Unit 2. If prices go up and output goes down, right, we don't really know what happened to nominal GDP. It could be more or less than it was before, right? It's price times quantity. One went up, one went down, right? It's indeterminate. All right, let's do another one. All right, we're doing pretty good. I'll keep pushing up the pace here a little bit. What would happen to the following in the short run if there is a increase in income taxes? All right, taxes, right? It could affect aggregate supply or aggregate demand. What's being taxed is the question, right? People's incomes are being taxed here, right? We're not taxing businesses, we're taxing people, right? So that's going to affect aggregate demand. Again, draw the graph, label everything. Aggregate demand will certainly decrease, all right? If people pay higher income taxes, they're going to have less disposable income. You guys got to make sure you write that in an FRQ. If you're given an FRQ and it says this, and then it says explain, right? You have to say aggregate demand will decrease because higher income taxes are going to result in less disposable income. Okay? So therefore, they're not going to be able to buy as many things as they once could. So what happens? Well, price level goes down, we can see it on our graph, and output goes down, we can see it on our graph, right? Don't be getting those wrong. And then everything else is relationships, right? If we're producing less stuff, what has to happen to the unemployment rate? The unemployment rate has to go up because we're producing less things, so we must be using less labor, right? If unemployment goes up, what happens to the sum total of everyone's paychecks, aka national incomes or nominal incomes, right? That would have to go down, right? It's inversely related to unemployment. If we have more people not working, we have more people not receiving a paycheck, the total of everyone's paychecks, that number would have to go down. Nominal wages never change because we're talking about short run. They'll change here in a bit once we change this to the long run. But in the short run, no one had the ability, enough time to renegotiate different wages. All right. What happens to real wages? Price level goes down. And this, so look at this one, people. Prices go down in our economy. Like you go to the grocery store, everything's cheaper, right? And you're still getting paid what you once were. In this case, right, real wages would go up. This is like the only good thing that's happening in the economy here. Those that still have a job, because many people don't have a job anymore, right? But those that do still have a job, they're actually kind of benefited, right? Because they're going to pay less for all goods, and they're still getting the same wage rate as once before. Their ability to buy things, aka real wages, would definitely rise. What happens to nominal interest rates? Well, in this case, we have deflation occurring. If inflation hurts lenders, deflation hurts borrowers. Because again, borrowers are going to pay back the loan with more real dollars, dollars that are now more valuable. The bank can take those dollars and go buy more things because prices have now gone down, right? So if price level goes down, nominal interest rates have to go down. Remember, those are always directly related. If price level goes down, where's the best place to buy a good? That's how you think about net exports. It's in the U.S. now, right? We're going to export more. Foreigners are going to buy more of our goods. We're going to buy more of our own goods, less foreign goods, less imports, more exports. Exports minus imports would be increase. And then last but not least, what happens to nominal GDP? That's just price times quantity. Everything that we produce has less market value, right, because the price has gone down, and we're actually making less output as well. So therefore, we can actually make a determination on nominal GDP. Nominal GDP will for sure, without a doubt, decrease. Okay? Last one, and then it'll be your turn. What would happen to the following in the short run? If the U.S. discovered vast oil reserves in the bottom of Lake Superior, right? We discover oil. And people really should say this, right? Oil is a key resource used to produce most goods, right? It generally says that. It's like such a dead giveaway that it's aggregate supply, right? I just gave it away, right? It's aggregate supply, right? So we're going to draw a graph, right? And we know that aggregate supply is going to increase. Why is that? Well, we found more resources. This is called a positive supply shock. We talked about it yesterday. We found more resources, right? So the price of oil will definitely go down. Now firms can buy more oil, and they use oil to make things, right? So now that they have more money, right? They can buy more oil. They can produce more goods. Aggregate supply would definitely increase. So what's going to happen? Again, don't guess, right? Just read your graph, right? Price level is going to go down. Output's going to increase, right? And then afterwards, we just have to use relationships to answer the rest. Unemployment will definitely decrease in this case, right? Because we're making more stuff. If we're making more output, we're making more goods, we must be using more workers. So the amount of people unemployed would have to decrease. If unemployment goes down, what happens to the sum total of everyone's paychecks, right? Think about that like little graphic I showed you. Now we have more people working, right? If we have more people working and we add up everyone's paychecks, national incomes, nominal, right, not adjusted for inflation, would have to increase. What happens to nominal wages? They stay the same because it's a short run, right? Short run, no one has the ability to ask for a new wage, right? So pretty easy. What happens to real wages? Price level goes down, right? So everything is cheaper, and if you still have a job, you're still receiving your old wage, right? You're going to be able to buy more things. Real wages would definitely go up. Your ability to buy things. That's what I want you guys to think about when you see the word real wages. Your ability to buy things would increase because prices went down and you're still getting paid the same amount. You're going to be able to buy more stuff. What happens to nominal interest rates? Well, price level goes down, so nominal interest rates have to go down, right? We have deflation going on, which hurts borrowers. So in order to incentivize borrowers to walk through the doors at the bank to take out a car loan, right? Or businesses that take out a loan, right? They have to lower interest rates to incentivize people to take out loans when deflation is occurring because they know that when they pay back the loan, they're going to pay back with more real dollars. So to incentivize people to take out loans, banks have to lower interest rates. What happens in net exports? Again, it has everything to do with price level. If price level goes down in the U.S., where's the best place to buy a good? It's in the U.S. Foreigners are going to buy more of our goods. They're going to demand more of our goods, right? And we're going to buy less foreign goods and more of our own goods. Again, more exports, less imports, net exports would go up. And then what happens to nominal GDP? In this case, it's indeterminate. Why is that? Well, prices have gone down and output has risen. So we don't know the net effect of that, right? Nominal GDP is price times quantity. So we don't know, right? It could increase or decrease. We don't know. We don't know. Has output fallen or output increased by a greater percentage than the decrease in price level, right? Or more or less. We don't know. It's indeterminate. Okay? We'll do long run aggregate supply tomorrow. All right, so people, that is it for me. Now it is your turn. I wish I would have gave you guys more time, but we kind of have to go slow for that because it's obviously super important. All right. Anyway, I'll see you guys here in Google Meet. I'll show you guys the problem set. If you guys want to jump in there right away.